Welcome. Before we start, I'm Brother Ted Novak. I am responsible with the Ironworkers Local 40, who brought the cross up a few weeks after the disaster. I would like to remember, before we start the ceremony, two of the most important members besides the president of the Ironworkers, John Ryan, who's still alive, and Richard Prager, who's still alive, were instrumental in bringing up the cross. Frank Ryan has passed since. Chris Kutz has passed since. And Chris and Frank put the cross up and put in the reinforced steel around under the concrete. We also have today Mickey Martz, who will be doing the Firefighter's Creed. He is a retired New York City fire from the New York City Fire Department, and he's responsible for the ashes with several other firefighters that are in the bottom of this shrine here, and we have no idea who they are, so we ask you to pray for everyone. We also have representatives here from Canada, England, France, Ireland, and various parts of the United States, plus delegates and friends and local neighbors. And we thank you for coming. We also have a very important person here today, Hank Gallucci, the designer of the World Trade Center World Trade Center flag, which is right here, we'll never forget. The original flag is in the World Trade Center Museum down in New York City. This is the second one, and we're honored to have that to represent 9/11. And Frank and his wife Vicki are right here. We also have Roger Ailes from Fox News. He's the chairman of Fox News, and his wife Beth, and she is the owner and editor of the Putnam County News, and they are right here. So now we will begin the ceremony with Bill Ream, our fire chief, and his daughter, Alicia, with the Pledge of Allegiance of the flag.
Now pay attention. Thanks, Luke.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Now we have Dorothy Ferguson. She's the mother of first responder Robert Ferguson here, and she will sing the national anthem, and she'll be accompanied by Don Simmons with the accordion. Dorothy, Don, come up, please.
Luke?
now for our invocation, we have Father Tom Oriens, Director of the Graymore Spiritual Life Center.
O God, by whatever name we call you, today we pause to remember. Remember those who we lost and those who survived. We recall their heartbreaking stories. We remember our lives are forever scarred by those moments. Our thoughts and prayers are with them again today. We remember before you today those whose lives were lost in the catastrophic events of September 11th, and for all those whom we love but no longer see. We give thanks to you for the selfless courage of those brave souls who ran into the burning buildings and who labored in the rubble. May their courage be to us a witness of what is possible when we are guided by love and dedication to our fellow human beings. We pray today for the continued healing of all those suffering emotional and physical scars. May your Spirit breathe new breath into clouded lungs, new life into troubled minds, and new warmth into broken hearts, so that all we may feel wrapped in your loving embrace. May we, from suffering to hope, from brokenness to wholeness, from anxiety to courage, from death to life, from fear to love, and from despair to hope. Guide our feet into the new way of peace. Inspire us with hope and the gift of shalom and salam. May we receive this gift so that we might become instruments of your peace in this world, knowing all people as equally loved, lovingly created children of God. We ask this in God's name.
We will now ring firemen down. The bell will be rung by Kenny McCaff, retired Hoboken fireman. Then we will have the Fireman's Creed. We ask you to all join in. You have to keep the papers. After that, Mark Savita will play Amazing Grace. Firemen down. Thank you, Kenny. Mickey? Okay.
There is a war that's being fought without bombs or rifle shots.
There are deadly confrontations every day, for the enemy is fire, and the casualties grow higher amongst those who place themselves in danger's way. It's a warrior breed of men who face the fires and fight again. When the screaming sirens sound the battle cry, when the claxons blare the call, they'll be there to give their all. They'll lay their lives on the line, do or die. When the terrorists attack, stab our nation in the back, then our firefighters lead the way once more. With their brothers, the police, the volunteers, and EMTs, they are joined to combat this unholy war. With the strength of saving grace, they met the challenge face to face, even though the stakes had never been so high. They took the job and got it done, unsung heroes everyone. They laid their lives on the line, do or die. And the flames are blazing high against the smoky midnight sky. Then you'll hear the mighty diesels raging by. They'll proceed at greatest speed. It's the firefighters' creed. They'll lay their lives on the line, do or die. There's a piper on the hill in the misty morning chill. You can hear this lonesome bagpipe's mournful drone. Another firefighter died, and his brothers at graveside. We'll see his widow and their children aren't alone. For every fireman has to know that he could be the next to go. It's just the nature of the beast they can't deny. Every year they add more names to the Brotherhood of Flames. They'll lay their lives on the line, do or die. When the flames are blazing high against the smoky midnight sky, you will hear their mighty diesels raging by. They'll proceed at greatest speed. It's the firefighters' creed. Countless lives have been saved by the bravest of the brave. Years of training, endless drill, dedication, iron will. Village square, city street, they're the ones who take the heat. At each station strident bell, still they charge straight into hell. They'll lay their lives on the line, do or die.
Thank you. Now we will have Kirby Brown, firefighter of Garrison Volunteer Fire Company, introduce our guest speaker.
Good morning. It's a given that the EMS organizations in any community support that community in many ways 24/7. We all realize that, we know it, we live it. But it's also equally important that that support, that sacrifice, come back to us in many ways from the community. It is with great pleasure that I introduce our speaker this morning as an individual who has, for many years, supported the Phillipstown EMS organizations. It is with great pleasure that I ask Billy Mazuka to come forward as our speaker. Please welcome him once again.
I'd rather not use this if you can hear me back there. No. Okay, then you really don't want me to use it. Okay, I will use it. Thank you for inviting me to speak here today at this ceremony to remember those almost 3,000 innocent lives that perished on September 11, 2001. A special thank you to the Iron Workers Local 40, New York City, and to the Friars of the Atonement, as well as the Garrison Volunteer Firefighters, the Ambulance Corps, and the Ladies Auxiliary. We all know the facts of that tragic day. 4 coordinated attacks on American soil, 4 planes, 19 terrorists, 2,996 dead, of which 2,606 were in New York City alone. Attacks that may have destroyed our buildings, but could not destroy our spirit. The World Trade Center is rising. The Pentagon was repaired in 1 year. And we know of the heroism of the passengers of Flight 93. And that is why we are here today, to not only remember, but also to celebrate the spirit, that spirit. This special memorial not only reminds us of that tragic day, but also recalls those heroes who rushed into burning buildings to save lives. This St. Jude's Garden certainly is not the largest, nor the best known of the several September 11 memorial sites. You have the National September 11 Memorial Museum in New York City. There is the Pentagon Memorial, as well as the Flight 93 Memorial in Pennsylvania. Yet, there is something special about our memorial. So we come to this place to remember in our own special way. We are here particularly to remember those firefighters and EMTs who answered the call to rescue their fellow citizens. Unfortunately, many paid the ultimate price in doing so. We also remember a priest, Father Michael Judd, chaplain of FDNY, who gave his life administering last rites to many of the dying. You know, it has become almost a cliche to ask, why would someone rush into a fire when others are rushing away from it? But it is not just something cliche. It is what firefighters do. Whether they are paid firefighters in a big city or volunteers in a small community such as ours. They do it because that is what firefighters do. That is their devotion to job and duty. It is also why they would leave their Christmas Eve dinner table to respond to a house fire, as was the case in our community just a few short years ago. So let us take this opportunity to not only remember that tragic day, but also to be thankful for our firefighters, EMTs, and all first responders. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we will have some closing remarks. I just want to mention we have our guardian here, Brother Hugh McIsaac. He's underneath the Chinese willow. He's a very good guardian. And I would ask Billy Rims to come here, please, for a few closing remarks and to acknowledge people that I do not know that are here.
On behalf of the Garrison Fire Company, I'd like to thank everybody, special guests, and neighboring departments for coming. After the benediction and God Bless America, please join us on the hill for refreshments. Thank you.
Okay, now we will have benediction by our Father Tom Oriens, and followed by God Bless America, sung by Dorothy Ferguson and accompanied by Don Simmons with his accordion.
God, as each of us knows and names you, we ask you to continue to heal the wounds of our nation, and that you would continue to comfort and sustain the families who will suffer from their losses incurred on 9/11. Forgive us when we are given into hatred, when we nurse our grievances. Make us ministers of reconciliation. Make us instruments not of hate, but of your peace. Make us builders, not destroyers, healers, not avengers. We give thanks for the shining spirit of courage and self-giving love that emerged from the darkness of 9/11, with such models of heroism before us. May we make a renewed commitment to work for mercy and kindness for peoples all over the world. increase and extend our compassion for all those everywhere who are victims of misfortune or violence or injustice. Help us to identify ourselves those sources of life and light that cannot be shaken by any terror, any terrorist. May we find in you an unshakable place to stand and the courage to build and live lives of courage and conviction. Keep our hearts tender and our minds alert to the human needs around us. May each seek out and find the works of love that we can do. And we ask this now and forever. Amen.
Your team, Don. Just a couple more remarks. This cross was given to us by Iron Local Workers 40. John Murphy was president at the time. I already told you the steel and iron workers and fire workers who came up here to put in the cross. This area is available for prayer 24/7. We have 2 lights here at night. We have a light under the American flag, and the building is lit up, so you can come here anytime to pray. Graymore is available for prayer anytime. Contact Father Tom Oriens if you want to spend a couple of days of prayer and meditation. Now, something very important, coffee and donuts is served on the top of the hill. Everybody enjoy. This concludes the ceremony. Bye-bye. Oh, one more thing. Thank you, Mark Savita, for playing for us.